Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my very first video. I'm very excited. I'm gonna spare you guys the view of my face this time. Okay, so to kind of jump into this, I used to have fish tanks when I was growing up. My family had them. They were a lot of fun. We've had all different kinds of fish before, all kinds of cichlids, angelfish. We've even had some albino clawed frogs. And over the years, I have purchased some tanks here and there, but I'll be honest, I did a terrible job researching and was given terrible advice. Actually, terrible advice up until recently. I have to tell you guys the story on how I got this fish tank, and I'm gonna give you guys a tour here in a bit. So I was out grocery shopping and I've been wanting another fish tank for the longest time and just could not afford it. And I'm at the grocery store. It's during Christmas time and I am going up and down the aisles just kind of seeing what they have. And I look up and they have 5-gallon fish tanks for $19.99. The tanks are it's a bow front, and also it includes the light, the lid, the filter. What else did it come with? The light, the lid, the filter, and I think that's it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all for just 20 bucks. And like I said, it's a bow front, and those tend to be a little more expensive. So I messaged my husband right away, and I was like, okay, this is what I want for Christmas. So I get this fish tank and I set it up and I let it cycle. So I let it cycle for a little over a week. If I would have looked back, I think I would have done it a little bit longer after I joined some groups on Facebook, people that have been tanking for years. And so they say to actually, you need to let it cycle until it's ready. You need to test the water, and I didn't really know this. So I go to my local pet store and I have been watching all these kinds of videos on YouTube of, just uh, beginner fish. I came across cherry shrimp. I really, really, really wanted some cherry shrimp. They are absolutely adorable. So I go to the pet store. I tell the guy I have a very spacious 5-gallon. With the core rocks and everything, this tank is a 3.9 gallon. So it does have a little more room than the average 5-gallon because I literally just have some gravel in here. Now, I will note that I tried to do less gravel, but my plants are not staying planted with less gravel. So I did add extra gravel, and I have all live plants in here. So I get to that in a minute. So I go to the pet store. I tell the guy what I want. He tells me that I can get, I'm pretty limited on what I could get for fish, which I already knew, and that's fine. Like I said, I just wanted a beginner tank, something that I could just kind of tinker around with and experiment with. So he sells me two itty bitty half-inch mollies. I had a black molly and then I had a Dalmatian molly. The Dalmatian molly had no spots on it. And looking at some photos of mollies, I'm beginning to wonder if this fish was actually put in the wrong tank. I'm wondering if it was actually a balloon molly. So anyways, I get I got 4 shrimp, or no, that day I got 2 shrimp and I got the two little tiny mollies. So I bring them home, I get them all acclimated. I submerge the bags in water and I do a drip acclimating. I get them all squared away. It was wonderful. Everybody seemed to take to the tank right away. Nobody hid. The shrimp were out eating and, just being shrimp, and it was great. I woke up the next day and my shrimp are gone. So I figured I used to have a little ship here in the front, a little ship, and it had a couple little bubbles that would come out of it from time to time. And then I had over here, I had a little tiny treasure chest. So I thought, okay, they're just hiding. Shrimp do that. So I, just go about my business. A couple days later, my shrimp are not coming out, and I'm doing all this research online, and they're saying it's totally normal. Shrimp do that. So I ended up going back to the pet store because I read that you need to have kind of a group of them so they feel safe and that makes them want to come out and be more active. So I go back, I buy more shrimp, and like I said, I buy these shrimp. They don't tell me anything. The only thing that happened the second time I went, the guy asked me if I had some food, that they could eat off of, and I said yeah. I said, I have a cycled tank, and I also have some food that does drop to the bottom. So I buy my shrimp. I go home. Well, I same thing. I have them. I get them all acclimated. I get them in the tank. They do wonderfully the first night, and then they disappear. Well, upon doing more research, I found out that shrimp will actually escape from your tanks. They are known to hop tanks. They are known to, if you're if you have level or water fluctuations, they can literally just climb up your air hose, or if you have any kind of openings, they can escape. Well, I didn't know this, and I got really frustrated the one day, and I did a water change. I heard that water changes help them come out. I did a water change, they didn't come out, so I actually go and investigate, and I pick up my ship. I shake all the gravel out of it. No shrimp. There was no shrimp in my tank at all. And then on top of that, my two tiny um, mollies also disappeared. Now, I did check my filter, I did check down in the gravel. There were no carcasses, nothing. I honestly, you guys, I have no idea what happened to those fish. And I really do believe that my shrimp did escape, because if you look at the back of my tank, I do have openings. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this to focus. There we go. And like I said, I have a little air tube here that they could literally climb right out of. And like I said, when I went to the pet store, they never said any of this stuff to me. They never said, hey, they can escape. There was no knowledge whatsoever. Now, I do understand that, it was my job to do that as well. But I did do some research, and I'll be honest with you, I only came across one video after this happened that explained what really happens to your shrimp. So, with that being said, I was very discouraged, and I just decided, okay, I'm just going to let the tank cycle for a little bit, do a little more research, and see if maybe I can get like some neon tetras to put in here, a handful of those. People said that maybe I should think about a betta, and I've had terrible luck with bettas in the past, and I also realize now that, oh my gosh, you guys, we are informed so terrible on how to actually take care of our fish and our marine life. I made the mistake of putting my bettas in these little teeny tiny tanks, like they said, and they would always end up dying. Well, it turns out, they can't flourish in an area that small. And also, I wasn't doing enough water changes. So, yesterday, which was Sunday, I decided I was going to go to the pet store and just kind of poke around a little bit and see what I could come across. I came across these bettas, and I will tell you, a lot of them looked terrible. I felt very guilty for these fish. They were in little tiny cups. A lot of them had fin rot going on. You could tell that the ammonia levels were very high. The fish weren't swimming that much. They seemed very miserable. Well, when I was doing all my video research on YouTube, I came across some beautiful versions of bettas, and one of the versions that I came across is a Dumbo Betta, and these are actually one of the most beautiful bettas I've ever seen. My favorite actually being the Rosetail Betta, and I saw this guy, and he was absolutely just beautiful. His fins were in perfect condition. He was a beautiful color. I'll be honest with you, I wanted to go with something a little on the warmer side when it comes to color, but he does have a lot of red in his tail, and he does pop in this tank. Now, unfortunately, okay, so let's be introduced. This is Finn. I call him, his name is Finny, but I call him Finn. That's his little nickname. I got him home yesterday, and while I was acclimating him, I noticed that he had cloudy eye going on. I did not notice this in the pet store, but according to my research, this is not the end of the world. Basically, what Finn needs right now is a lot of clean water changes, and obviously just time to get acclimated to his new home. He seems very content. He seems very happy. He survived his first night. I really hope this guy is going to make it. Like I said, I really became attached to him in the pet store. I had no intentions on getting a fish, especially a betta, and I seen him and I was like, I have to save this little guy. I have to try to give him a good home. So here we are. Now, like I said, in my tank, I have live plants. So here I have a moss ball. I love this thing. I definitely want to get more of those. I have a Java fern there in the back. I do have a little bit of shrimp grass I need to get rid of. And I got this Anubis here. This plant, I completely forget what it's called. If you guys remember, let me know in the comments because I completely forget what the name of this plant is. I will be honest with you, it is not my favorite plant. It is really kind of taken over on the tank itself. But I do plan on getting more tanks, and my plan for this particular plant was to put it in a bigger tank. I wanted to just nurture it here and get it growing. Also, the guy in the pet store told me that if these these stems break off, you can actually plant them down in the gravel and they will eventually grow roots. So I do have one over here. Also, Finn does have some tank mates. Unfortunately, you can't see, but there's actually a snail right here munching down on one of the leaves that has fallen off. This is Shelly. Like I said, you totally can't see her. She is having a good time with the leaf. And back here, I don't know if you can see him or not. This is Gary. They are both snails and they are here to make sure that the tank is algae free. I also hope to get a few more snails out of them, maybe have some babies so that I can use them for my next tanks. I really, really like snails. I know some people look at them as a nuisance, and I really hope that these ones do not become a nuisance. Shelly is actually the cone-shaped snail, and she mainly just sticks at the bottom of the tank, cleaning up the gravel. And then Gary, he likes to go on the glass and clean up all that glass. So this is the tank. Like I said, it's 5 gallons. I have a heater here in the back. This heater is for 2 to 10 gallons. And my filter is for a 5 to 10 gallon tank. I know some people would probably use bigger, but this is what came with the kit, and I just put it together. And honestly, the filter seems to work really good. One thing I really like about this filter is the water gets sucked up underneath here, and all of the bottom has little teeny tiny slits, so it's going to be a lot better for shrimp and small fish. I don't really know what's going to happen to this tank. This might end up just being Finn's tank, depending on if this little guy is going to make it or not. If not, I thought about just doing this as a quarantine tank. It's really important to quarantine new fish before you put them in with other fish. So I definitely would like to get another bigger tank. I'm really hoping to get a 20-gallon tank next month and get that up and running and, get a community tank going. I'm going to show you guys, I did purchase some plant food. This stuff, I mean, I've only been using it maybe like a little less than a week. My plants seem to have improved a little bit. I started getting some black spots, like especially on my fern, but they are starting to clear up. I read that that means that there's a magnesium deficiency if your plants get black spots. So I got this Aqua Yan aquarium plant food. This stuff, like I said, you just mix it with some water. It has instructions on how to dilute it on the back. I have been using the API stress coat for my water conditioner. This is also supposed to help protect the fish and help the slime coat. So, like I said, hopefully this stuff did see somebody on YouTube that was not a fan of the API line or the Aqua Eon line, or I don't know how to pronounce that. So, and then right now I have Finny is on some top fin freeze dried bloodworms. I got him something that's basically a treat. I really, oh, he seems to recognize what this is. Hey, Finn. He is very sociable, and I love that. I really, like I said, you guys, I really hope that he's gonna make it. He seems like such a wonderful betta, like he has such a wonderful personality. I really hope to get his eyes cleared up here soon, and I really feel as time goes on, his color is gonna get more and more vibrant. I am definitely gonna be feeding him some really good betta food just to help him flourish and, give him a good life. I know bettas can live a really long time if they're in the right conditions, so I really hope to um, give Finn a great life. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm very excited to make videos for you guys. If you want to see more videos, of course, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. I'm going to try to do videos as often as once a week, but hey, you never know. You might get more, you might get a little less here and there, but let me know what you guys want to see, and I will definitely keep you updated on our fishy adventures. Thanks, guys.